We greet our friends everywhere with Chapter 13 of Thunder in the Heather, the story of John Knox. This is another in the series, Stories of Great Christians, and is brought to you from the Moody Bible Institute in Chicago.
John, the Protestant lords have their forces mustered and are taking up positions along the road from Stirling. The Queen Regent has assembled her army and has declared war.
On whose authority has she done this?
On her own.
She has not consulted the young Queen of Scots in France?
Her councillors and the prelates and the bishops. Mr. Knox, we must get word out to the people. We'll need every true-hearted Scot we can find.
Aye, the people must be called together. We will have an army composed of the congregation of Christ Jesus within Scotland. At last the forces of the devil have come out openly to meet us. Here is the battle at last!
Is it necessary that Mr. Knox go on writing letters? The Regent's armies are increased to 7,000 or 8,000, and still we wait.
Well, wait, Caldwell, because the people wait. They'll not move without the word from Knox. When he gives it, they'll die fighting if necessary.
But what does he hope to accomplish by these manifestos?
Lord Caldwell, it's important that all of Scotland knows by heart the issues that we'll fight for. This is not a battle for power, it's a war for freedom. Queen Regent declares she has drawn her forces together in order to restore law and order in Scotland. What she really hopes to accomplish is the destruction of the Protestant movement.
I am not a lad in breeches, Lord Glencairn.
You asked me what Knox hopes to accomplish by his writings now.
That was a mistake.
He's written the Queen Regents affirming the loyalty of Protestants to the Scottish throne and asking only for freedom of worship.
Churchill has declined to answer his letter.
And he's written a manifesto to the entire nobility of Scotland, demanding support for our cause.
Ye nobles who are still unready for the new faith, be warned from persecuting its adherents until the Protestant cause be tried in lawful and open judgment. Ye nobles who once embraced the new faith and have since deserted it, leaving us in our extreme need, must return again to the right side, or you will be excommunicated from the Reformed Kirk. And dinna doubt that our Kirk and true ministers of the same have this power which our Master Jesus Christ gave to his disciples. And be reminded that this war, which the Queen Regent has called, she has called on her own authority, without consulting our rightful queen, her daughter in France, in whose stead she's ruling this realm. The Protestant cause has the right to appeal, not only to the young queen, but to the princes and council of every realm in Christendom.
A lot of good that will do. I can see Bothwell laughing with his ladies over threats of excommunication from the Reformed Church, and appeal to young Mary. Why, she is not 17.
Lord Bothwell may laugh, but there are many nobles who won't. There is very fine reasoning in what Knox has written.
Well, what's he doing now? We have 5,000 men, multitudes of them common folk, waiting to do battle. Most of the men have put a rope around their necks as a solemn token that they'll either hang the enemy or be hanged. They swear they will never surrender. And they are ready, Glencairn.
And when the time is right, we will march. In the meantime, why don't you return to the camp and leave Mr. Knox to his writing?
Generation of pestilent ecclesiastics and prelates, the congregation of Jesus Christ within Scotland says, if ye persist in your cruelty toward the children of God, ye shall be treated as common murderers, and we shall begin that same war which God commanded Israel to execute against the Canaanites. And peace shall never be made until ye cease from your open idolatry and cruel persecution of God's children.
Father, do you think the call to battle will be given tomorrow?
I do not know, lad.
They say more French soldiers came today to join the Regent's army.
Aye, I heard.
The preachers say that Scotland is in slavery to Rome.
And so it is.
Yet the evening is so raw, the sky so open above us. It is hard to feel a slave.
It would seem hard, lad, if you felt the stake up your back.
Ah, Mr. Douglas, we must fight for the liberty to worship Jesus Christ as is right, but we must not fight for revenge.
How can you take revenge for the burning of an old man?
Did you know Walter Milne well, Mr. Douglas?
Hey, he was my priest since I was a bairn. An old man over 80. What harm could he have done?
Perhaps his death did as much good as his life, Douglas.
He was infirm. They off-carried him to the stake. And so weak they did not need to tie him there. I ask you, what was the need of it?
It was grand the way the folk commemorated him.
Aye, it was. I saw the people begin to pile up stones. At first I didn't know the meaning of it.
And even the women came with their bairns.
All putting a stone on the pile for the memory of Mr. Milne.
And the authorities threatening excommunication for anyone who laid a single stone on the pile.
I put one on after that.
And they come at night and cart the pile away.
But not his memory.
I hope the call to battle will be tomorrow.
Pardon me, bishops all, but I am still Queen Regent of Scotland. I am not forced to accept your advice.
Madame, if the heretic forces are drawn up against you in the Roman Kirk of Scotland, 'tis your duty as a daughter of the Kirk to march against them.
I am not such a fool as to want to unleash civil war in this realm. Perhaps we can accomplish our aims by negotiations.
The city of Perth has risen up in defiance of the crown. The Protestants have taken up their position a mile from the city. They swear to defend the city to the last drop of the lost man's blood. It is not temper for negotiations.
I have told you, I intend to offer terms to Mr. Knox.
You cannot mean you will give them what they ask. Scotland will run wild with heretic preachers and congregations. It would ruin the Kirk of Rome.
I said I would offer terms to Mr. Knox. That is not just the same as keeping terms. If he would dismiss the army and the mood of the people would become quieter, then perhaps we could strike with more advantage.
Perhaps you underestimate Mr. Knox.
I do not think so. We will send mediators to the Protestant camp.
You call yourselves mediators, do you? What mediation do we have with a camp of Jezebel and her armies arrayed against us?
And the Queen Regent promises that she will not send soldiers into Perth if the Protestant army will disband.
Yes. She sends a message that peace and order is her intent.
Aye, that is her message. And can the two of you be such blind bairns as to believe such treacherous lying? You say she is Queen Regent, and I tell you she's a woman and a Jezebel of the house of Babylon. Upon her and upon her hosts will the wrath of God be poured, and upon your heads if you should be so foolish as to return your mortal bodies into her camp for their protection. She will never give terms. Treachery is on her tongue, and all lying words. She's certain to break her word.
Aye, but she promises to...
And will you stay here and stake your life on her promise? I will remove the troops of God, if ye will forfeit to me your life if she should break her word.
I will stay with you. And if she fails, I'll fight for you.
And I.
John, we have word that many of the nobles who received your manifestos are coming over to your side.
And these two with a taint of Jezebel still on them join us. They have assured me of their support.
If the Queen Regent breaks her promise.
We can count on them.
She swears if we will leave Perth, she will not send even one of her soldiers into the town to punish the people for their rebellion against her.
And she will permit the Reformed Church in Perth to flourish.
Oh, that is understood.
Yet this treaty of hers can work to our gain.
I thought the same. If we accept it, when she breaks word with us, even the nobles that are with her now will see that she will never permit freedom in Scotland.
And the responsibility for the war will be clearly upon her person.
Aye, very well. Let us accept her terms. I shall go off preaching until you send me word that Regent Mary has broken her treaty.
And when Lord Argyle tells you that he has left the side of the Queen Regent, you can be sure that the rest of the nobles left with me. I was present, as was Lord James here, when the Regent sent promise to Mr. Knox that she would not enter Perth with her enemies. I believed her. Lord James believed her. The same day her troops entered Perth, Lord James and I, and many of the nobles, rode out to join the Protestant cause. How can Scotland be free when tyranny wears the crown? We have been riding through the heart of Scotland, and everywhere we've stopped. We've gathered loyal Scots to join us in our march to Perth. Why? Why should this land bow to Rome and to France? This land of Scotland belongs to the people. You are the people. If you would stamp out tyranny, if you would raise up freedom in this realm, join with us, fellow Scots, and the multitudes throughout the countryside that march to Perth for God and for Scotland. And so we conclude Chapter 13 of Thunder in the Heather, the story of John Knox. This has been another in the series, Stories of Great Christians, and is produced in the radio studios of the Moody Bible Institute of Chicago.